Hey everyone, welcome to another weapon review. Today we will be looking at the Harpe. So, this weapon, from what I've heard, is basically the Murky hand sight, except less damage and earlier game. Like, this thing, so the Murky is found at the Dread Keep, which isn't only late game, but I'm pretty sure that's DLC. Whereas the hand sight is found in the Undead Settlement, which, if you have not played Dark Souls before, is just after Dark Souls 3 at least, is just after Vort. Which, if you have played Dark Souls, you would know exactly where I am. The High Wall of Lothric right now. That boss room is Vort's room. So literally, after you defeat 2 bosses, including Ludex, you're done. Like, you can get the weapon. It is farmed off of enemies holding it. Anyways, according to a friend, and I don't disagree, honestly, but according to a friend's friend, I haven't known them long, what makes this weapon so good is it has good range and the stun of a katana, but it's a freaking dagger, which daggers are just amazing. And notice how quickly I ripped that guy apart. 121 AR. That's like nothing, and I just ripped that guy to shreds. That's not because this thing is good at doing damage. I mean, it is, but this weapon in particular isn't really. It's because it's a frickin' dagger that it can rip your enemies to shreds. If you want a weapon that does a little more damage, but is still a dagger with good range, just after the Murky Hand Scythe and Harpe comes the Corvian Great Knife. That's the next best weapon. I believe it does more damage than the Harpe. I mean, my Harpe is sharp infused with 20 dexterity and +2. A scaling in dex, I have 20 dex, and it has a 121 AR. So, yeah. Also, strength doesn't do much. When I two-hand it, getting me a total of 19 strength, because I sharp infused it. Yeah, that was kind of stupid. Strength scaling was decreased, so even though I two-handed it, boosting it from 13 to 19 strength, it only increased the damage output by 1. 1. And this thing only requires 8 strength, so double what it needs, actually more than double what it needs just to use it. You would think that would give it a pretty decent damage boost, but it really doesn't. I mean, sharp infused, it has an E scaling in strength, but an A scaling in dexterity. So, yeah. How easy is it to use this weapon? Pretty easy. You only need 8 strength and 10 dexterity. So, almost any build can use this weapon. Screw that, any build can use this weapon. Except luck, I guess, because luck kind of needs a bleed weapon. A bleed, frost, or poison weapon. Something that scales with luck, because otherwise you're not going to be increasing damage at all. But yeah, this weapon is pretty good. It's not exactly Well, it's not the most damaging weapon ever, but it is a dagger. And even the bad daggers are good because they're daggers. Oh, and on top of everything else this thing has going for it, let me show you the weapon art real quick. Quick Step. As my favorite dagger weapon art, Quick Step. And as you can see, it just rips enemies apart. So what do I think of the Harpe personally? I find it really fun because it's like I get the strength of a katana and the strength of a dagger in one for the price of a little damage. And I always found both those weapons pretty fun. Quick Step is super nice. I love that weapon art. Could very well be my favorite weapon art. And yeah, I kind of do really like the Harpe. But don't worry, even if I do use the Murky, it would be PvE only, because I know it's kind of frowned upon in the community. And I mean, I don't disagree with the community on that one. If it is just this thing with more damage, that's disgusting. Maybe the best weapon, the best dagger I would use in PvP, if I ever get to do it, internet company, is this, the Harpe. So yeah, I really like this weapon. If I were to use it in PvP, I wouldn't upgrade it or infuse it because that's just unfair. The damage is the one thing against this weapon. Other than that, it's just kind of unfair. It has a standard dagger moveset, which I like. I really like the rolling R1 into normal R1. You get a couple stabs, and then you can just keep chaining R1 for massive damage. And basically, with katana hit stun, if you land your rolling R1 with that, you're gonna land the rest of it and just rip apart your opponent. I'm going to wrap up this video because it's going a bit long here by showing you this devastating combo. So I'm going to go to an enemy it'll actually, who I can actually show you with. Ow. It's not too easy to land a rolling R1, but if you land it, pretty damn good damage. Okay, here we go. As you can see, you can just rip your enemies apart with that move. Dark Souls. Seriously. Okay, From Software. Add a freaking pause function to